Welcome, guys, back to the Extra Crispy Podcast, man. Episode 4. We came so far. 4 episodes, man. We've been doing it. And today is December 4th, 2020. That means we are still in the pandemic. Other countries are not, I guess. Of course, I'm not too versed in world news. Probably need to keep up with that. Also means that my first produced comedy show at the Backyard Boogie is exactly 14 days away. 2 weeks. December 18th, baby. All right. And I'm taking a pause in between my goddamn speeches because I was huffing and puffing, running back and forth, setting this podcast up. I ain't got no assistants, okay? You want to be my assistant? You want to be my assistant? Come help me out with this shit? Well, guess what? You're going to have to be an intern because I ain't got no money to pay your ass, nigga. I got money for survival, not to give you a title. I'm going to sip my coffee, too. My coffee has a little pug on it, and the mug says, I'm having a rough day. When actually, I'm having a pretty good day. And first of all, it's not day no more. It's night. I'm recording this podcast kind of late. But I'm having a pretty good day today, December 4th, 2020. For you people who don't know me, I feel like there's a reason why I'm having a good day today. And, you know, at first I was just going la-di-da-di-da-di, feeling good in my body. And I think that it was more of a supernatural thing, you know? Because 6 years to today, my father passed away from liver cancer. And the moves that I made today made me feel like he was watching over me, you know? In that, like, God had a purpose for me each and every day. But today, I was making a lot of moves, okay? I was doing a lot of work, and hopefully my dad is proud of that, you know, that his son is not lazy. Although my career path is unconventional, I'm not lazy. You got to put the work ethic towards your dreams if you want them. You could put work ethic towards working for somebody else's dream on that 9 to 5. You better be able to put it in for your own dreams. That's all I got to say. Whether or not you're pursuing a hobby, right? That's just something to keep you happy, or you're trying to make that dream a career move that brings you financial stability. All right. And here, just to kind of get you guys a little more involved in my life on the Extra Crispy Podcast, all my crispy critters out there, what's going on? Thank you for supporting the podcast. That's what I'm going to call y'all, crispy critters. All right. So this is my dad's obituary. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can see this. And it's in, and this is my father right here. When he was probably, I think, about 60 years old. He passed away at 62. I think this is about 2 years before he passed away. We were at a wedding for one of my cousins. And it was a very nice wedding. Very nice place that they had it at. It was in Florida. And the venue was in a very nice community. Very nice community. And before they had the wedding, I think about a day or two before, they had rented out the groom and the bride and their wedding party. They rented out a really, really big mansion in that community that the venue was at. And we had a good time there, eating. I think it might have been Thanksgiving. I smoked a lot of marijuana in my time, and sometimes I forget these things. But anyways, on here, on my dad's obituary, it's maroon or burgundy. same color as my dad's wearing in this suit, and this suit was pretty fly. This jacket's pretty fly. It's suede, and if anybody knows anything about me, I like to wear suede. Now, I don't know where the jacket is. I don't know if one of my cousins jacked me or my brother jacked me, but this should have been left to me. All right, maybe my dad rented it. I don't know. I don't think he did. He wasn't a renter. Well, not for clothing, at least. But anyways, so on here says homegoing celebration for Mr. Troy Douglas Jr. My dad was the second Troy, as my grandfather's name was Troy, and I'm the third Troy, and my son is the fourth Troy. As each Troy goes on, we just keep getting lighter and lighter. The white man's plan's working. No, I'm just kidding. Anywho, so and on here it says sunrise, December 1952, December 9th, 1952. So actually my dad's birthday is 5 days from now. And it says sunset, December 4th, 2014, which was a very, very hard time for me. And for anybody who's going through a major loss in their family, you know, the initial devastation is just life-changing, and you come out of that as a different person, you know, mentally. And it might even have an effect on your physical body. Because emotions, man, they ride high at these times. And for anybody going through this, just know as the years go by, although that wound is still there, it's like a major scar. When it first happened, it's like a giant wound in your chest, you know. If you were to think your soul is in the middle of your chest, right? I guess we think of that because we reference the heart with your soul. And when you lose somebody close to you, it's like a major gash, like you're dying too. And as time goes on, you know, it becomes a scar, a very, very large scar. You're pretty much mutilated spiritually. And for me, you know, I depended on God, and there's a lot of routes you can take, man, with somebody close to you pass. A lot of routes. You could take dark routes, or you could take a route that brings you on the other side with greater appreciation for life, you know? And to get to that route, it takes more wisdom, and it takes more humility. But for either side you choose, you know, you can never tell somebody how to mourn. So if somebody's in mourning, you just got to let that be. That's what my dad used to tell me. Anyways, so there's some pictures in here. Me with my dad when I went to prom, which that prom was cracking. Had me a good old time. Freaked on a couple bubble booties. And maybe a couple pancakes. Anyways, this is my dad in front of the OCTA bus back probably in the 80s. He was a city bus driver for 30 years, you know. Hard-working man. Just like his son, who does it unconventionally. This is my dad and my grandmother right there. And picture of my dad dancing. Did he have better rhythm than me? Yes, he did. Does it have to do with him being full black and me being half Mexican? I don't think so. Because Mexicans got rhythm too. I just think that I hurt my knee once and never recovered. Anyways. And then this is a picture of my dad when he was 18. His senior year. I believe he graduated from Jones High School. 1971. Don't quote me. Because like I said, I haven't smoked marijuana for a long time. I try to slow down nowadays. Got 2 kids of myself. 3-year-old. 3-month-old. They're both born in August 2017 and 2020. And, I think about what if my dad was around to see my children and stuff like that. And I'm not going to lie. Sometimes these things hurt me deep inside. But I just have to believe that everything happens for a reason, And also, at the same time, how blessed I was to even have my father for 22 years of my life. How blessed you are to have your parents, period. Some people don't have them. Some people never have them. Just drink some coffee, just in case you are only listening to the audio and not watching the video. And, I really feel like it's irreplaceable having parents, even if they're adopted. Having somebody who accepts the responsibility of raising you as well as they can. That's the key word, as well as they can, right? Because as we learn, each generation doesn't have the tools as the previous generation. Each generation is having a background of raising similar but not exact to yours. The only way you're going to have somebody who is raised the exact same way as you, at least as close as possible, is if they're your sibling. Other than that, everybody is raised differently. Me, my dad, his dad, so on and so forth. And each generation of a good parent or the best parent they can be is trying to refine that parenting from each generation to the next generation, And, if you have your parents in your life, if you had your parents in your life until you're an adult, if you still have your parents, whatnot, one parent, somebody who was like a parent, just be as appreciative as you can and thank God. And we don't learn these things until we get older, really, even though I had respect for my parents as a young teenager. You're so into yourself and wanting to figure out the world that their advice falls on deaf ears sometimes. And more of the thing that you fear is consequence than actually digesting the lessons that they're teaching you. You probably more listen to your parents' words when you're a child. And I don't know to what age, but all I know is my dad was known for lectures. All my friends know my dad gave 2-hour lectures per house visit. So if you're coming over to my house, you better be ready to at least listen to a full podcast like this. If my dad had a podcast, he'd be able to do time easy money. If he had a podcast, if I had him as a guest on a podcast, he'd be dropping more gems than your jeweler. But unfortunately, this is not possible because he passed away 6 years ago, December 4th. And like I said, it's not something easy to even think about. When I go into my rants, being the performer that I am, I can separate triggering real emotions from performing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really believe I wanted to do a role that required me to cry. I can get into it like that. And then really be, man, that was a good waffle I had this morning for breakfast. But that's what performing is. You got to turn it on when you got to turn it on. Or be in it, method, whatnot. I got all kinds of emotions built up in my head from different experiences. And I feel like you just got to bring that to the table. And the most thing I like to be is funny. Why, do you think? Because really on the inside, I'm insecure. But when you're funny, it gets people to like you. Preach, right? And when you're a bully, that gets some people to be on your side because, well, that wasn't even a good comparison, because you could be a funny bully. Donald Trump's kind of like a funny bully, you know, and he's not the worst version of it, honestly, to me. I mean, he's pretty. There's worse funny bullies. I just can't think of them right now because I'm on a little bit of that ganja and a little bit of coffee. I don't drink alcohol very often, as much as I did in my early 20s or before I had kids or was in a serious relationship. Because back then, we used to go hard, baby, in the paint like Shaq. When we used to drink that cheap shit like Jack. All right. I was off pitch all over that motherfucker. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but rest in peace to my dad. I love you and do my best I can to make you proud. And hopefully, God willing, one day I see you up there in heaven. I need to get my act together so I can make it. Just saying. Anywho, so, and I'll talk more about my father on his birthday because that's coming up on December 9th also. And I don't know when this podcast is coming out. I'm going to try to drop it tomorrow, December 5th. And if I make it to that and get this editing done as quickly as possible, I did it for you, my crispy critters. Anywho, so let's just talk about some topics that have been happening, you know, in the world this past week. Basketball season starts up December 22nd. Well, I mean, I don't know. The Lakers play December 22nd, and that's what I care about. You know, I'm a basketball fan, but I'm so busy doing my other stuff that I can only really, really watch the specific team I'm a fan of. Lakers versus Clippers. It's going to be cracking when we get them rings. We get them rings. And the Clippers got to watch it happen. Because why? They lost to the Utah Jazz. If you follow basketball, you know what I'm talking. No, they lost to the Denver Nuggets. My bad. Oh my gosh. It's hot up in here. Anyways, yeah. And they just didn't make it to the Western Conference Finals. And we did. And eventually we played the Heat in the finals and we won. And now there's no parade because of COVID, but we still celebrate in our hearts and in our minds. Alrighty. Also, I don't know if you guys have been hearing, but Congress passed a bill to decriminalize marijuana federally. I think there's one more step to go to really make it happen. I'm not super versed in how laws get passed or fucking amendments or whatnot. I don't know what this specifically would be. But I know this is a good thing for making marijuana fully legal. It's a step in the right direction. And which I do believe it should be used responsibly, as in that you don't operate machinery, right? You shouldn't really operate machinery outside of being completely sober or being on a stimulant. No, just kidding. For you Adderall users. I think that you should also be, I really think you should wait to put substance into your bloodstream and mind until you're probably, I mean, really, I think you should probably be 25 when your brain fully develops, right? And I think you'll be at the most beneficial from there on out. But if you can't help it, at least 21. Because, I mean, at least your brain is pretty dang matured, you know? Your brain really does need to mature, man. I started smoking weed at 11 years and 8 months of age. And now has this turn me into the comedy genius I am today. No, I'm just not a comedy genius. But well, not yet. Well, not yet proven. All right. In my heart, do I feel that way? Yes. Okay. But does it pay to be arrogant? No. All right. So I'm gonna let my work do the talking. When I get there, my critters, all my crispy critters, and you ain't no crispy critter nigga if you ain't supporting a nigga on this shit. Anyways, but I appreciate and love you anyways. Yeah, so I think you should wait because I started too young, and I feel like it makes it harder for some people. Everybody's different. Makes it harder to learn a task, right? I mean, I did decent in school, other than the fact that I didn't like to go, right? But I mean, I wasn't an idiot. I just preferred to stay home and jerk off. I guess what do they call it? What do they call that when you ditch school? They call it hooky, right? So I used to play hooky to go home and jerk off. I mean, I did so much hooky that my dick started looking like a hooky. All right, that wasn't a good joke. Anyways, let me sip my coffee one more time with my pug on the cup. I'm not I don't like to say the word hate, but I do not like pugs. That's just the only dog mug I was able to find at the store. But I do not like pugs, all right? Do I wish they die? No. I don't want to wish death on nobody or extinction. But I think it's messed up how humans made their nose so far back in their face. And that they have numerous health problems. But anywho, that's our faults. Not mine specifically, but people. Oh, yeah. And I opened up a new bank account at Schools First. I didn't mean to say where exactly I did. Not that it matters, really. But this is my third account. My third bank account in my life. Not that I have 3 bank accounts right now, meaning that I ruined 2 before, and this is my third one. But I will not mess up this because now I am more mature, and it's a credit union, and I don't want to fuck that up. But when you're younger, especially in the minority community, sometimes you're not really taught how to manage finances. It's more about spending. And at this age that I'm at, the experiences that I've had, I feel like I know how to manage a little bit more. And this is not to let you into my personal life so you can judge me, nigga. This is to let you into my personal life so you can relate. So the people who ain't never had this issue, I'm giving you some perspective, all right? That's what life is about, perspective. And the ones who've had this issue, what up, nigga? And the ones that are younger who may go through this issue, man, just don't mess up your bank account, man. It's a bitch. It's a bitch, because if you don't want to get a bank account again, you got to pay that money that you owed to the fucking previous person, because they have you in a checking system. And certain things will not take those prepaid debit cards. Believe me, I've had tons of them, and certain things will not take that prepaid debit card. You have to have a checking account card. I'm just giving some knowledge to all my young bucks out there. Young bucks and young fawns. Because I think that's what you call a female deer for that analogy. Anywho, Christmas is ramping up. Christmas. It's actually a pretty good holiday. Not because of just all the gifts and whatnot. Really, because of the atmosphere, you know? I like when people are happy and jolly. Now, they might be a little frantic, but this year seems a little different. I don't really see as much anxiety with the shopping out there this year, you know, and products being all gone and stuff like that. And it's probably because of the coronavirus. And for the people who got those stimulus checks, they probably already bought all the things they wanted anyways. And for the people who have been getting screwed financially, they're probably holding back on spending money on Christmas because they got screwed. So that creates the less purchases. The economy is crashing. No, I don't know. I'm not super versed in that either. Okay. What am I versed in? What am I even versed in? Tupac songs and lyrics and shit. Why should I lie? We're not traumatized. Oh, and then that Mike Tyson fight. I'm sure everybody saw that, right? First with the prelims and the co-main event, Nate Robinson got knocked out, and which was a damn shame because obviously athletically he's way more athletic than Jake Paul. But if you do not know how to fight, your ass is gonna get beat, right? Don't matter how many muscles you got, how much your 40 is, how fast you run that 4.4. You better learn how to throw your hands and your feet and grab a nigga down to the street. Okay? And Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, that was some good build up, you know. Even though they're older, Mike Tyson, you know, everybody's enamored with that guy. And Roy Jones, I mean, one of the greatest of all times, you know. Roy Jones is at his best, middleweight, cruiser. Mike Tyson's a 5'10" heavyweight who's been knocking out 6'5", 240 dudes his whole career. Roy Jones, I think he's like maybe 5'11" in his prime, like 5'11", 160. You know, Mike Tyson, 5'10", 215, 220. So this is two different bone density. There's two. No, just kidding. These two guys have two different bone densities. That's what's apparent, right? And now they're older, 54 and 57 or something like that, or 52 and 57. Mike Tyson being the older one. They're older, more risk. But Mike Tyson, man, that fool was looking like a beast. Roy Jones was looking a little washed. You know, it looked like he still had his skill, but it looked like it was dramatically decreased. And that Mike Tyson could have knocked his ass out. But I believe the rules were not to knock each other out. and the rules were 2-minute rounds. And Roy Jones was looking tired. Roy Jones was looking more tired than Mike Tyson. Like, it was crazy. And I've heard Roy Jones in different interviews in the Joe Rogan podcast and thinking that 3 minutes would have played better into his game. But Mike Tyson during the fight was looking like he had the better stamina. And Mike Tyson was laying a few punches on him, man. I mean, Roy Jones caught him with a couple jabs too. He tapped up Mike Tyson a few times. But Mike Tyson was working that body, man. I was like, man, I can't believe Roy could take those punches like that. That's a true fighter right there. They ain't his first time feeling some body shots, but when he had some Mike Tyson body shots, oof, I bet that shit hurt. And I'm down to see Mike Tyson fight somebody else. I'm not gonna lie. I'm down to see Mike Tyson have a real professional fight. Although, who am I to say? I'm down to see Mike Tyson. This guy's 50-something years old, right? He got to think about his health. Not entertaining my ass. Oh, and if you guys know a little bit about sports and follow these social media characters, the Ball brothers, now they're all in the NBA. LaMelo got drafted to the Hornets at number 3, Michael Jordan's team. He owns the Hornets. And LiAngelo got signed to the Pistons, non-guaranteed contract for 1 year. It's basically his prove-it deal. Lonzo is on the Pelicans. We all know that. And, this must be cool. All your brothers are in the NBA and things of that nature. Hopefully one day they could all be on a team and the story can be complete, and we could all smile and be like, man, that must be nice to be with your brother on the same team in the NBA. Other than that, I ain't got much more to say about that nigga. Oh, and this monolith that was in the freaking desert. Everybody was talking about making a big old deal. That shit was only put there 2015. I mean, what the fuck? Who cares? You don't think somebody had the technology to put that out there in 2015? You don't think some billionaire, was there like 100 billionaires? What if a billionaire was 100, probably more than 100 billionaires, honestly. Hundreds of millionaires, 100 millionaire could easily do that, and how many of them are out there? You don't think 100 millionaire could be like, I want to do some dumb shit and see what happens. Let me just fucking screw some steel slabs together in the middle of the desert. And let's see, people think it's a goddamn alien. So it was put there 2015. I don't know if it disappeared or not. I think I've seen some shit like that. But yeah, I mean, fucking steel things put together, monolith, whatever. I didn't see it fucking vibrating or some shit like that, or Katy Perry fucking coming out the top or some shit like that. Nothing too significant about that thing to me, honestly. And I believe if there was a significance to that monolith, the government would not let you walk up to it, right? I've seen people walking up to it and shit. And, I don't know. The internet's wild. But yeah, man. It's the Extra Crispy Podcast, episode 4. Episode 4, baby. I let you guys in a little bit about my personal life. Spoke about my dad. We reflected on this past week or two, topics that have been happening in the world. And episode 5 should be coming soon. Episode 5 should be coming real soon, baby. And don't forget, I got my show coming up, the Extra Crispy Outdoor Comedy Show, December 18th, the first Extra Crispy Comedy Show at the Backyard Boogie. All right, don't forget about that. If you're watching or listening to my podcast, don't forget about that. Don't forget about us. No, baby, no, baby, no, baby, no. Yeah, you don't think I'll get Mariah Carey to sing a couple fucking notes up in there? You don't think I can get Mariah Carey on my damn show? Shit, nigga, watch the connections I got, nigga. Mariah Carey used to buy collard greens at this Waffle House I used to go to in Long Beach. I ain't never met Mariah Carey. Although I do like Mariah Carey songs. She has some hits. That's facts. In a verses, who's she going up against in a verses? Mariah Carey, Beyonce, Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey verses. Who would you want to see Mariah Carey verse? I think that's about it. Janet Jackson or Beyonce? Mariah Carey versus Janet Jackson. Mariah Carey versus Alicia Keys? Mariah Carey versus Madonna? I don't know, because I don't know a lot of Madonna songs. Who else is there? Mariah Carey versus Diana Ross? No, because Diana Ross is way older than Mariah Carey. I don't know. But I don't even know if she can sing anymore like that, because I don't know. I've seen some video about a year ago of her messing up her high notes. Maybe she just had an off day. But that'd be sick. Mariah Carey. Ooh, Mariah Carey versus Beyonce would be a crazy versus, right? That'd probably be it. That'd probably be it. I can't think of anything bigger than that. Kanye West versus Drake would be a huge versus. That'd be sick. Obviously we've been seeing Gucci Mane versus Jeezy and Snoop Dogg versus DMX. The dog. They had 2 dogs up in there. Let's Was there another verses? Some verses happened before that. I can't remember. Anyways, Extra Crispy Podcast, episode 4. We out now. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. My bad. I don't want to leave you guys like that, all right? I pray for the best for all my people out there. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Extra Crispy. I messed up that, and I ain't taking it out either. Extra Crispy Podcast, episode 4. Thank you.